Since 1970, the Baylor Line has stood for community and belonging and spirit. What started out small has now grown into one of the greatest traditions in all of college football. It's been a tradition that's shared among family and friends, and it has reminded us what it means to be a part of this Baylor community. Now, in 2020, 50 years later, we're honoring some of those stories by sharing them with you. We're calling them Stories from the Line. And our first story is of the Mastin family, and they are one of the greatest, biggest Baylor families you will ever meet. They just sent their 24th family member to Baylor. Let's hear their story now.
Robert was raised in an Aggie family, but never was there a doubt in his mind that he would go to anywhere but Baylor. Robert and I met in the 6th grade. My mother was his 6th grade teacher, but we didn't start dating till we were juniors in high school. And after that, I knew I was going to Baylor because I was going to go where he goes. When Robert and I were students at Baylor, we both had jobs at Baylor. And he washed dishes at Memorial, and I worked the switchboard at Allen. But I can remember every evening as I would get off work and he would get off work, there was a swing between Memorial and Allen, and I would sit on that swing and wait for him to come. And that's just a happy memory that I have of time at Baylor with him.
I remember 5, 6 years old, we started coming to football games pretty much every game. And so it was always fun to watch the Baylor Line run.
You certainly get to know the people you sit around when you have the same seats for years and years and years. And that was part of the fun too.
I only remember sitting in those seats, those 8 seats, for any game that we came to. And then at halftime, you go up and get your ice cream. And that was football for us for as long as I can remember.
There were just so many pictures of Dad with the grandkids, all decked out in their Baylor gear. It was just clear that not only did he love his grandkids, but he also loved Baylor, and they were both such an integral part of his life.
It was more than just a football game. It was how the whole Baylor family came together.
I tell you, he was loyal to Baylor. He loved everything Baylor. We have 11 grandchildren, and to have 7 go to Baylor, I think that's pretty good.
Last football season, he couldn't talk a whole lot, but he still came to a few games, and he pulled himself up on the bar in front of them where they were sitting. He'd sing the Baylor Line as best he could and do his Sick 'em Bears.
Well, I knew that he would be proud of me going to Baylor, and so he was the first one I thought of when I got my Line jersey. I had to show it to him. And so at the time that I got it, we couldn't go in to see him, but I went up to the window and he immediately recognized it. He knew what it was. It made him smile. And so I was just glad that he was able to see it. I promised him that I would run the line at least once, but I was hoping that he would be there to see it.
I think it was a special moment when he saw that jersey and just lit up. He knew what it was, and he reached for it, and their hands kind of touched through the glass, and it was really a special moment, I think, just for all of us, knowing that he still had that connection.
Kelsey and Kirby and Katie got all of their Baylor t-shirts together and made a quilt for him, and he wanted that quilt with him or over him all the time. The night that Robert died, the quilt was over him.